Hello, welcome to Bible Prophecy at Bible Prophecy End Times. Today, Monday, January 27th, 2025, at around 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, a magnitude 3.8 earthquake shook parts of New England. The epicenter was located 8 miles off the coast of York Harbor in Southern Maine, the United States Geological Survey reported. The New England earthquake was originally reported at a 4.1 magnitude, but was downgraded to a 3.8 magnitude by the United States Geological Survey. Officials quickly said there was no tsunami danger from the earthquake. No injuries or damages were immediately reported from the earthquake, but people in the Boston area reported on social media that they felt some shaking, and the United States Geological Survey website showed reports of light vibrations as far south as Rhode Island. Residents in the suburbs of Boston felt a long, steady rumbling that lasted several seconds and reported seeing trees swing to the local news station, NBC Boston. Earthquakes occur much less frequently in the eastern United States than in the west. Moderate-sized quakes strike New England every few decades, while smaller quakes shake the region roughly twice a year, according to the United States Geological Survey. What does this have to do with the rapture, the second coming, and the end of age? There are no prophecies that need to be fulfilled before Christ comes to take away the saints. His coming is imminent. There are several things that are going to happen. 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 18 says, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words." There will be a rapture. The word rapture means to be caught up. Everyone who has accepted Christ will be caught up and snatched away to be with the Lord. That is the rapture. The rapture is just the first phase of the second coming. It takes place before the tribulation. The second coming is a second phase, and it takes place at the end of the tribulation. Many people get that confused. They try to take the signs of Matthew 24 and say all those things have to happen before the rapture, and that is not true. They are significant to the rapture in this respect. Those signs have to do with the second coming of Christ. The second coming of Christ is 7 years later than the rapture. So it is reasonable to expect that some of the signs which are necessary before the second coming of Christ will be in their incipient form, evident 7 years before that. We are beginning to see the signs of the second coming of Christ 7 years in advance of their ultimate fulfillment. Matthew 24 tells us there were disciples who questioned the future and didn't understand what was going on. Verse 3 of the 24th chapter says, "As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what will be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" When the disciples asked him what will be the sign of the coming, Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. These earthquakes in diverse places are foreshadows to the second coming of Christ. We are seeing these signs 7 years in the advance of their fulfillment. The rapture is imminent.